had a home birth that was unplanned, unmedicated, unassisted. To understand what kind of happened, let's go back a little bit. So I had my son, Eli, when the pandemic first happened in the hospital. It was a pretty quick labor and delivery. The nurses were actually pretty shocked, and my midwives, that I actually came to the hospital and gave birth the same day within 4 hours. And I had an epidural. They thought having the epidural was going to delay my delivery process and that I would be in the hospital overnight, still laboring and not having my son until the next morning. But they were wrong. I had my son at 8 p.m. on the dot that same day. Now I find out I'm pregnant with my second baby, my baby girl Eden, and my nurses and everyone was like, you know what, since everything happened pretty quickly with Eli, you had your water break like 6 a.m., gave birth at 8 p.m. that day, we're gonna make sure with Eden we're a little bit more prepared and that things are gonna go smoothly. You know, they had the whole rule about like the 511. I think they bring it down to 411. For my second baby, my midwife did say we're gonna follow the 411 rule for you. Comes now, I get to 40 weeks. Nothing's happening. I'm walking, I'm going up and down on a ladder, everything like a step stool, trying to get this baby out of me because mama is tired. I am tired. I want to have a break. I want this baby out of me. It's a lot. So finally, 40 weeks, 3 days, I'm feeling contractions about 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm excited because I'm like, okay, it's time. She's finally coming. Like it's gonna happen. And I'm laboring. My contractions were way worse and way more intense than it was with my son Eli in the beginning. So I thought, hey, things are happening quickly. My app is telling me, girl, you need to go to the hospital. And I'm just like, what? Like it just started. Like, why do I need to go already? Like the timing was too close. Telling my midwife, hey, I'm tracking my contractions. The time is too close. They're too intense. I'm telling Charles, like, hey, like we should call my sister to come and watch Eli so we can go to the hospital. My midwife's like, let me come and check you first before we go to the hospital and everything, just to make sure. She comes over to the house. Bam, it's like 5 a.m. now. Checks me. She's like, you're still 2 centimeters dilated. 2. Crazy. She's like, maybe 2.5. So we're still gonna like labor you at home. Go take a bath, relax, take an Advil and a Tylenol, chill out before we go to the hospital. You don't need to go yet. I was like, fine. Okay, fine. I'm just gonna labor at home, I guess. Took a bath. Was uncomfortable as hell in the bathtub. I can't lie. Like I just sat there and I was like, I don't know how people do this. It's not comfortable, but I tried to chill as much as I could. Went to sleep, was still trying to track my contractions as I was sleeping. And then it kind of tailed off. Like it kind of was inconsistent. And I was like, uh-oh. Like I hope the bath didn't delay my contractions now. It isn't making my labor as intense and progress the way it should be. Anyways, still sitting there. My sister ends up coming after the midwife left. So 3 of us are with my son Eli. We're watching TV on the couch and everything. It's around now like noon. And I feel like I'm having really bad contractions. My contractions are almost like blurring into each other. So it'd be like I have a contraction that's like 8 minutes long, seconds apart. And I'm like telling the midwife, like, listen, like something needs to change. I'm only having quick relief. Like I feels like it's not even a relief because by the time I finish a contraction, another one's starting. And so right as we're watching TV, it's like 12 o'clock, almost like 12 o'clock on the dot, 12 noon. And we're like, okay, you know what? I think it's time like we go to the hospital. And we're like, you know what? We probably should go soon. And we're talking about like, oh, if we go to the hospital now or like 1 o'clock, Eden will probably be born around 4 p.m. Like we're just joking about that. About 12, I think I want to say, or 12:15, I had this bad contraction and my water breaks. All I feel was a gush. And I tell my sister, my boyfriend, or my fiance, to look and check, did my water just break on the couch just now? Because I feel like it did. And they go check, sure enough, water's broken. Baby's coming. I was like, you know, let me go to the bathroom, put on my little, diaper to get ready to go so I don't leak everywhere. And as I sit on the toilet to put my diaper on, I'm still having like intense contractions. Like it just amplified even more to the point where I'm not even really able to breathe through them. I'm just like, and I'm like, these are intense. So Charles calls the midwife and is like, hey, listen, like Candace has to go to the hospital right now. We're going. And she's like, okay, no worries. I'm going to come and check her again. He's like, no, we got to go to the hospital. She's trying to talk to me on the phone. And I'm like, listen, I can't speak. Like Charles is like, she cannot talk. Like there's no conversation happening. Sorry, my daughter woke up from her nap and she was crying. So I had to go grab her. But anyways, so I'm on the toilet now. as I said, I can't talk to the midwife. She's trying to get me to talk to her. Not happening. Charles is like, she can't speak. We're going to the hospital. As they're on the phone, I feel like this pushing feeling. So I'm trying to tell Charles, like, he's getting off the phone now. And I'm like, listen, I feel like I have to push. Like, my body is involuntarily pushing. And he's just like, what do you mean? And I'm like, pushing. Like, it's happening. And he's just like, no way. Like, I don't know, let me call back the midwife. So he calls back the midwife and he's like, oh, she has to push. She's saying she has to push. So the midwife's like, okay, call 911 because baby's coming. I don't know if I'm going to make it in time, but call 911. So hangs up the phone. He calls 911. He's now outside of the bathroom. I'm still in the bathroom. I'm like, I have to get up. There's no way I'm having the baby at home. I've always wanted a home birth, mind you, but not this way. But I'm like, we got to go to the hospital. I'm sorry, we're going to the hospital. I packed my bag, everything well in advance. We're going to the hospital. So I get up, whatever strength I have. I'm like, let me just pull up this diaper properly, pull up my pants, and let me go. I'm able to do it after a couple contractions. And I walk from my bathroom to our bedroom. And we have our bathroom in our bedroom at the condo, but it's like 2 steps out of our bathroom into the room where our bed is, like right where our bed is. So I get to the bed, and as soon as I get to the bed, all I feel was another like a gush pushing feeling, but like I could feel that her head or something's out. So I scream, and then Charles comes over. He's like, what's going on? And I'm like, I think her head is out. I think her head is coming. She's coming. Bam, she's there. Charles is like, oh my God, I see a bulge. So he pulls my pants down quick, sees her head, takes the pants off, and the operator's like, okay, the baby's here. Like, put her on the bed. She needs to lie down so she can push the baby out from her shoulders and everything. So he like throws me onto the bed, and I'm just like, oh my God, like I'm in so much shock, and he's like freaking out. So my sister comes in the room. She's like, oh my God, what's going on? She's like, oh my God, the baby, oh my God. So Charles is like, I see her head, everything like that, but she can't push. Like, how do I get the baby out? So the operator says, put your fingers in her and pretty much pull from the shoulder. So he does that, puts his fingers in, pulls from her Eden shoulders, yanks her out of me pretty much. And my sister pretty much had to also take over the phone call because Charles was in too much shock to do it. And I mean, like, it was such a crazy experience. Like, there was so much adrenaline going. I was in shock. Charles had his adrenaline going. My sister was freaking out. Eli was kind of just playing and doing his own thing in the living room. But chaos. It was absolute chaos. But we're just blessed that Eden, as you can see here, came. She's healthy. She's beautiful. She's just a caring little girl. And so blessed to have her. I had to deliver the placenta. I didn't have a bad experience with the ring of fire thing. Delivering the placenta and making sure that everything was out was the absolute worst part. That's the part that nobody tells you. If you have a natural birth and they start pushing on your stomach, that shit hurts, bro. That shit hurts. I'm telling you right now, that shit is the worst pain. And she kept telling me like, oh, it's a little pinch. No, bitch, that hurt. But yeah, that's my birth story.